Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
A magic beyond anything you could ever imagine.
You are now listening to the Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Sagrera Farms on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Locking down the middle of the day.
You really think that's the best idea?
Live from the Raising Cane's studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
It's quite a piece of work.
Hour 2, Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Fellas, you may have some travel issues getting up to Fayetteville, Arkansas for basketball for a Saturday night game. We'll talk to Chris Blair about all that coming up in 15 minutes, as well as his preview of that matchup should it happen. One thing that did happen on Monday is Indiana won the national championship, and I know a guy that went to Indiana. I know a guy that was there on Monday night. Brody Miller, former beat writer here for LSU football, now writing about all things golf for The Athletic. But for these purposes, an Indiana alum and national champion joins the show. How does that sound, Brody?
It is as good of a sound as I could ever hear in my life. How we doing, huh? It's been a while.
I'm probably not as good as you. It's been very good. All right, give me the years that you attended Indiana, because I've got the record year over year in front of me.
23 to 2017. So I covered the first bowl game in like 9 years. That was like a massive deal that they made a bowl in my time.
So looking at some 4 and 8s, 5 and 7s.
Oh, dude, that's my sophomore year. I covered that team too. They went 4 and 8 in spite of a 2,000-yard Tevin Coleman rushing season. They averaged like 54 passing yards a game because Nate Sudfeld went out for the season and the backup was like a 150-pound freshman. Like 4 and 8 with a 2,000-yard rusher, you have to be trying to lose games. Like that is truly what Indiana football was. Got
to the Pinstripe Bowl the next year.
Absolutely. That 2016 team, that offense was humming. Kevin Wilson, good offense. But yeah, the fact that 6-6 was like one of my greatest memories of my IU fandom says it all.
So set the stage, like for those days. Like, what did the stadium look like in those days for Big Ten games, for non-conference games?
Yeah, you really can't, like, and don't get me wrong, like Ohio State, you'd occasionally get like a pretty good crowd because people wanted to see that kind of stage. Or, you know, sometimes if it was like, hey, they're 5-5 and or like 6-5 playing Purdue, like you're going to get a solid crowd. But on a day-to-day basis, yeah, let's be honest, it was 1/3. You know, I think that's accurate. And that was before I don't think they finished filling in the end zone, the new end zone side until probably 19. So like it was bleak. It was an open end zone with grass and it was just scattered. It was pretty sad. And it was this tough thing of like, yeah, you would do all these things to incentivize. The AD was a pretty good AD who tried to come up with fun gimmicks, you know, fireworks, stuff like that to make it a fun thing. But no, I mean, the joke was we all wore shirts that said, game time is nap time, you know, like the tailgate scene at IU, it's a pretty fun school, 50,000 people. And like the tailgate fields were bonkers. They were a lot of fun. And then the overwhelming majority just didn't go inside the game. And it's not like they didn't have fans that cared. They did, but they never get like, I understand the bandwagon argument. And I don't think it's not dumb to say it, but it's just like they never gave those fans anything to believe in for 100 years. So it's like it's insulting to be like, wow, like why weren't you there? It's like, why would you be there? They gave no indication that they cared, put no money toward it. And it was just a school that showed we care about basketball, and I think that's just how it was.
What did you think about last year's team, the 24 team? They ended up in the playoff but got beat by Notre Dame. Like, did you think that was a really good team, or did you think, that was a pretty soft schedule? It was fun, but kind of a soft schedule.
I mean, fair question. I think last year was a more of a shock feeling than this year. I think that's like key to remember that last year they had gone, I think, to like 3-9 the year before. They were lost. The Tom Allen era ended so bad, replaced the entire roster. I think it was before anybody. We're all like, oh, the Signetti guy's coming in confident. Like, I think they're doing pretty well in the portal, but like, you know, maybe they make a bowl year one. That'd be cool. And then to see them just go and beat everybody they played by 35 points on average or something like that. The schedule wasn't hard, but it's still a Big Ten schedule that IU went 2-6 against every year for eternity. Like, I think like somewhere along the line, we jumped the shark from holy crap, they're winning these games to like, well, the schedule's not that hard. And it's like, that's accurate, but they're beating Big Ten teams by 35. Like, we're losing the plot here a little bit. And yeah, that was not one of the 5 best teams in the country. Of course not. But they were like a 10 to 15 team in the country. And they boat raced everybody they played except Ohio State. And in those 12 games, and it was just like, what am I watching? So I think we all went into this year being like, that is probably the best year we'll ever see. That was pure joy. And hey, man, if this guy's legit, yeah, they can keep going like 8-4, 9-3, and like we would build them a statue. So I think like that's the context to keep remembering, that like even if he just kept them going to a bowl every year for the next 10 years, Chris Signetti gets a statue for last year. And what came now is just so utterly inconceivable.
Talking with Brody Miller, who's with The Athletic, covers the PGA Tour, former beat writer here for LSU, but an IU grad who was in Miami for the national championship game on Monday. When did you think that Indiana could win the national championship this year? At what point did that become a reality? It could have been Monday. It could have been after they beat Oregon. Like, when did you think it was actually possible?
That's a great question. The first Oregon win was definitely like, that first one on the road at Austin, and like manhandled them. Like, if they won by 10 with a pick six, like it was like, oh, that moment it was like, oh, IU is unironically probably at this point the number 1 team in the country. Like, and that was probably the most utterly shocking of anything that came after, because it was the first time it actually sunk in for a lot of people. Like, oh, this isn't fake anymore. Like, this team's just that good. But I think even then I'm like, man, they're going to be back in the playoff. Like, I don't think championship, but man, the fact that this is just going to keep being our life, this is amazing. I don't think I believed like this team could win the championship until even the Ohio State win. It's like, I think Ohio State and Oregon are just as good at IU at that point. I'm like, oh yeah, any of these 3-4 teams, they're all good enough. I think the Oregon game was like the official, like, oh, the second Oregon game, just like, oh, this team is a wagon. This team keeps playing different types of tests, physical teams, fast teams, spread teams, power run teams, and they just boat race them all. I'm just like, oh, I don't know how they lose. And I can't give enough credit to how good Miami looked in that, besides the obvious lack of discipline. I was just like, wow, they destroyed IU on the line of scrimmage, and in a way that I didn't fully expect, even though I knew how good that D-line was. But yeah, I think that second Oregon win was like, oh, I think they are the best team. Yeah.
So I remember I was a sophomore in high school, but I was in the Superdome when LSU beat Oklahoma to win their first national championship in most people's lifetimes. And you don't know if you're ever going to get back, and you're there and it's close. And you wrote in your column, which was brilliantly written. I suggest everybody go read it at The Athletic. What was that second half like for you, watching your team try to get to the finish line?
Yeah, I think I like had a line in there about it. I think the most key thing is thinking the whole past 2 years is something you never considered believing. So it never felt like something you could lose. So it was like stress was never quite the right word for a lot of this run, because it all felt lanyard, to use a Louisiana term. Like, and then it wasn't until that second half that it was like, oh no, this is now real. And if they give this away, I will never recover. because not believing is so much easier. The second you know this, and you are an LSU guy, like you know what it's like to be close and lose it. To now, I am about to have the coolest season in sports, in like just from a storyline perspective ever, and I might have it ripped from me. Like, that was just like the most guttural, painful feeling I'd ever felt. So the second Fletcher took that 57-yard touchdown, it was just like, I was no longer fun to be around. I was no longer like, oh, what a moment. It's just like, this is awful. And I wish this on no one. And then you get the pump block and you're like, oh, okay, we're good. But then, man, you watch like that first half, Miami couldn't get anything of their life. They averaged like a yard per carry. That second half, man, Shannon Dawson, OC, like dialing it up. I hadn't seen anyone for 15 games. Those second 2 touchdown drives in the second half by Miami, they were schooling IU. And it was like, I haven't seen anyone do that. So it was pure panic. But because most of LSU's title wins, correct me if I'm wrong, they had unbelievable moments. God, you watched the greatest season of your life. But most of them were not nail biters, right? Like, they were kind of like start to finish, generally controlled things, if I recall.
Yeah.
And
except the Oklahoma one.
Yeah, you're right. But the joy that I wish anyone could feel of watching Mendoza run that safety over, stop, and then dive. It was my my soul came out of my body. Just finally, all that tight behind behavior for like an hour and a half was just pure euphoria, because that's all it is. That's why you watch sports. It's just for that one moment of like feeling like you're the main character and your guy is the epic poem hero in like the Iliad or something. And that was that moment. And I just like hugged all these strangers around me and just like, we did it. And that is being a reporter, I think it often just sucks that muscle out of you. And I'm really thankful that I've had these last 2 years to just like, I don't cover this anymore. I cover golf, which is like even more far away from that world. And it's just like, I got to just feel things again. And it was really enjoyable.
It's the best thing about sports, and I think reporters who suggest that they just bury it forever are missing the boat on that. So I'm glad you got to witness it. I didn't have a dog in the fight, so it was fun to watch. It was an incredible, historic moment, and congrats! I appreciate a little bit of time. Now get back to golf and make sure all those players leave LIV and come back to the tour.
I'm watching Scotty Scheffler start 6 under through 8 right now. So yeah.
All right, Brody, we appreciate it, man. He's Brody Miller with The Athletic, covers PGA Tour, covers golf for those guys, but an IU grad. And when he's saying those things, I think a lot of people that are listening that are LSU fans can go back to that LSU-Oklahoma game if you're old enough to do that, can go to certainly, the baseball national championships, turning the double play last year, or the Tommy White home run that sent them into the championship series. Like those moments, they don't come along that often, and when they do, it's just the best.
No, what he said, the shirts they was wearing again?
Game time is nap time.
Yeah, game time, like that's brutal, man. Like that's how bad, that should just encapsulate how bad Indiana was.
I did that one time, not for LSU. We went to Athens for Georgia hosting Oklahoma State the Saturday after LSU opened the season in Starkville against Mississippi State in 2007. So I was a sophomore, went to Starkville for the LSU game, drove to Athens the next morning because we had friends there, and they're there for the Oklahoma State Georgia game, and we tailgated all day. Everybody went to the stadium. We went to sleep. We woke up 4 hours later. Everybody's ready to go to the bar, and we went. And so I'd done that once. It just wasn't my alma mater playing in the game.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's like a step from going with the paper bags on your head.
I get it. I mean, they're not beating down the doors to go get into the PMAC to watch LSU's basketball team right now. It's just, sir. If you suck, it's just not a lot of fun to watch, and you just don't go. Especially college kids got a lot of better things to do. There's a lot of fun things to do in college instead of going into a stadium of any kind and watching your team get beat by 40. It's just not that much fun. There are a lot of fun things to do in college. That's not one of them.
Especially, Indiana gets real cold and nasty out there. You're watching a 5-win team getting demolished by Ohio State.
I'm looking at Brody's college career: 5-7, 4-8, 6-7, 6-7.
Yeah. No, when he said the Pinstripe Bowl was the highlight, I was like, good Lord Almighty. That's the pinnacle.
Big Ten, they were 2-6, 3-5, 1-7, 2-6.
That's just people down here would literally just pass away.
You fire the coach after 2 years for that. That's just not even a possibility. It's a crazy world. Indiana's a football school. Alabama's a basketball school. How about that? Hey-o. Sorry, Tide.
No, we're not sorry. We're not sorry at all.
Let's talk some hoops with Chris Blair next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David DeVoe and his team, 30 years remodeling bathrooms and closets. When I say redesign, remodel, I think a lot of people get these big, big ideas in their head. Very expensive, very invasive, very time-consuming. It doesn't always have to be like that. Maybe it's just a simple tub-to-shower conversion. That's something that David does probably more than anything else. If you've got a bathtub that you don't use, whether it's one of those big 90s-style jacuzzis or one that's even older that's dingy and you don't ever take a bath because you take showers, but you take one in the tub because that's just what's there, take it out. Take that tub out, put in a walk-in glass shower. It changes the aesthetic of your bathroom, changes the functionality of your bathroom, adds some value to your home, just makes everything more comfortable. David Vaughn and his team do that all the time. And I asked David once point blank, I was like, well, how long does a tub-to-shower conversion take? He's like, well, every job is different, but like generally speaking, 3 to 5 days. That's what you're looking at here. It's very doable. So if you're looking at a bathroom that's old, outdated, maybe not functional, David and his team can come in and transform that for you. Go to the website, OneBathAndClosets.com. Check out the pictures of their fantastic work. It's David Vaughn, One Bath and Closets, OneBathAndClosets.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Thursday show is brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Tigers headed to Northwest Arkansas to take on John Calipari's Razorbacks on Saturday night in Bud Walton Arena. Looks like the weather's not going to be great up there. Not going to be great for a lot of the country this weekend. I checked with LSU earlier today and was told that no significant travel arrangements had been altered. We'll see if we can get to the bottom of the story with Chris Blair, voice of the Tigers, who will be headed up there with the team. Chris, thanks for a little bit of time. How are you?
I'm good, man, and happy belated birthday.
I appreciate that. So what do you know about the travel arrangements and weather possibilities and what they may be doing up there on the Hill?
Well, I talked to Coach McMahon last night, obviously, during the show, and this was at 7:30 Central Time last night. He said that right now pretty much all options are on the table, and that's all handled by the SEC office and the individual schools administration. And, of course, that includes the possibility of moving game time, moving even game day. So, again, last night it was all the options are on the table. And, of course, Northwest Arkansas expected to get some heavy wintry blasts, but there's a number of games that could be affected all the way to the Atlantic coast. So I'm sure the SEC office is looking at that. The only thing that has changed as of this point is the team's charter flight was moved up a couple of hours tomorrow, and that's where we stand right now. Try to get up there before whatever comes, and then we'll find out, whether or not we play Saturday night at 7:30 and whether or not we get back to Baton Rouge Saturday, Sunday, or even Monday.
If we can get a COVID season in, I think we can figure out this one winter storm. That was wild when the COVID season, they would just change your opponent 2 days in advance. Like, yeah, you're not going to Baton Rouge, you're going to College Station. So we got that figured out. I think we can get this figured out on Saturday. So Deon Thomas returned for LSU on Saturday in a limited capacity, 17 minutes. What did you see from him after basically taking a month off?
Yeah, you could tell there was rust. There were shots. Again, looked good. It was great to see him out there for 17 minutes. The patented teardrop runner down the lane, was off just a little bit, probably speed-wise off just a little bit. And that's a tall task. Not only are you brought back after really not having any on-the-floor practice until the day of the game for almost a month, and then you're going up against a Florida team with their giants that they have on that roster. So it was just good to see him out there. Again, there's 13 games remaining in conference play, or I guess 13 or 12 games, whatever it is. The fact that he's back and the indications after playing 17 minutes, he felt good. They checked him after the game. They checked him yesterday on the day off. And then he'll be back at practice today around 2 o'clock and then again tomorrow. But just having him in there, I think, is going to be good. But, not much I think you could take away that it was going to be just an instant shot in the arm, considering he hadn't played as much over a month time.
How much is Mike Nwoku going to be glad to see DJ Thomas back in the lineup?
Yeah, we talked about it last week. I think he certainly is kind of the obviously your point guard is going to be your assist guy, but I think it is specifically tied to Mike Nwoku's success. Just the way those guys play together, they seem to know where each other is. They really do the middle ball screen really well, and again, that goes to both skills for both Mike and obviously DJ. So, yeah, I think that he not only can help contribute the more minutes he gets and gets more back to 100% to Nwoku, but I think he is instrumental in getting Markel Sutton open. And I think it takes some pressure off Max McKinnon. Max was, I think, caught up in trying to do a little too much driving against Florida where, a lot of times they're not going to, cloud the lane. They're going to allow their bigs to play rim protectors, and they're going to be out there on the corners to prevent the inside-outside threes. And more times than not, McKinnon was the guy who was trying to put his head down and drive, as opposed to if you are going to try to get some inside-outside threes, he's the number one candidate you want out there on the perimeter.
When you look at this Arkansas team, John Calipari's second there with the Hogs, what do you see?
Well, I was joking with Coach McMahon last night. The fact that Boogie Flan last year missed the majority of the year with an injury, came back late for that NCAA run, and then suddenly, boom, he's gone to Florida. Well, I kind of understand now why. Darius Acuff Jr. is an absolute freak, a true freshman that's third in scoring in SEC games at just under 22 a game. He leads Arkansas at 20 points a game. He's an assist machine. And as like Coach said, when things break down, if you can force Arkansas to play in the half court, you have success. When they're out and running and Acuff is running the floor and spreading the ball, you're going to be in trouble. But if you hold them to half court, make no mistake, when it gets down to about 6 on the shot clock, they know get the ball in Acuff's hands, and that's how good a player he is as a true freshman. So he'll be in Fayetteville, 6, 7, 8 months before he's making a pretty good living at the next level.
Probably making a pretty good living right this very second, but he'll certainly make one at the next level as well. I'm curious your thoughts on Bud Walton Arena. I don't anticipate it being full on Saturday night if that's when they play, just with the weather conditions. But you've been to every venue for all 3 sports that you do. What's Bud Walton like?
Yeah, when it's full and it's rocking, it's rough. I mean, it really is. I mean, it looks like you can't see the top. I mean, it just a mass of humanity, and it's a pretty rowdy place. And it's a good point that Coach Brody mentioned, when we wrapped up the broadcast in Florida, the fact that you got this kind of weather, and no offense to Fayetteville, the city, but a number of Arkansas fans come from every point of the natural state, from Little Rock and beyond to get there. So you may, depending on the weather, not have, 20,000 plus, which I think can make a big difference. I've been up there during the lean years when it wasn't the Bud Walton that legends are made of. So you're kind of hoping that's the case. Florida was a pretty hostile environment. It wasn't completely sold out. There were some empty seats, but, they got the students right there about 8 feet from the floor. And so LSU's got some, these guys are going to play in these hostile environments, as you pointed out, I'm sure, for the first time in their careers, whether they're transfers or whether they're, true freshmen. So I don't know that they're going to get the total Bud Walton package, but I know the team is prepared for it.
Well, Chris, y'all travel safe when you do, and we'll talk next week.
Yeah, I hope to get back to Baton Rouge before next Thursday. I'll join you at 2:15.
Sounds good. He is Chris Blair, the voice of the Tigers. It's gonna be wild over the course of the Midwest of the country over the next 5 days. I mean, even as far south as Shreveport, it's going to get some pretty significant stuff. I don't think we're at too much risk down here in Baton Rouge and New Orleans, south of I-10, but Northwest Arkansas is going to get hammered by this thing, and so we'll see what that does to affect LSU. I tell this story a lot, and I think it's relevant. There are new schools in the league, and there are new arenas even, but when I asked Andre Stringer, who a lot of you will remember, maybe some of you don't, but Andre Stringer was on some lean LSU teams for Trent Johnson, but we talked to him almost every week. He was kind of the spokesperson of the team that would come out when I was covering the team day to day, and we chat with him, and I said, what's the toughest place to play in the SEC? And he said there's 2. Now, Andre played for 4 years at LSU. He played for a long time. So there's 2. It's Florida at the O-Dome, and it's Arkansas at Bud Walton. He mentioned Tennessee as well. Apparently, and this is something that I heard from multiple players, like Rupp is an intimidating place because of how big it is, because of the players on the other bench. Like Kentucky's usually got a couple NBA guys over there. But like the people that are season ticket holders at Rupp have had season tickets since 1974. And it's not the loudest environment in the SEC. It's huge, but you've got an older crowd in there that's had tickets forever that will never give them up, that will never miss a game. And it's just not like Gainesville and like Arkansas. Now, coaches come and go, arenas come and go. And when Andre Stringer was here, Auburn Arena didn't even exist. And like they were terrible. So he wouldn't have any perspective on that. And I understand how that goes, but it always stuck in my mind that these are 2 of the toughest places to play in the SEC, and LSU just so happens to play in both of them this week. However, you may catch a small break if LSU does get up there, and if this game goes off on time at 7:30 at night, 2 hours after the sun's gone down, when it's -2 degrees up there and there's ice, like you may catch a half full joint. Like we'll see. But it's a tough place to play, and they're a really good team right now, so we'll see what LSU can do. I'll have somebody from the Arkansas side of things tomorrow on the show to kind of set the scene and see what the situation is. And certainly if something does happen with scheduling, they may move this thing around just because there could be multiple games impacted. Like Knoxville's going to get hammered. I don't even know where all the games are on Saturday, but like Knoxville, Nashville, Lexington, like all of those places are in the middle of this. Missouri certainly is as well. So like there may be some multiple movings of games, maybe days, maybe hours, who knows, and wouldn't stun me if they said, hey, everybody get to the SC tournament a day early and we'll play the one we had to make up on this floor. Like it's not the most fair thing, but you just got to make things work when the weather does what it does. So we'll keep you posted as we learn things moving forward. Take a time out. 30 minutes to go here on this Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing. You can find them at lifetimeroofingla.com. They're Baton Rouge based, but they can service anywhere in the state of Louisiana, plus over in Houston and Texas. So if you're looking for a new roof, check out the folks at Lifetime Roofing. Have an inspection. If you're not sure if you need a new roof, let the folks from Lifetime Roofing come over and inspect it. A lot of roofing companies are just looking for the payday, and the payday comes in the brand new roof. Okay, right? We all know that. That's the biggest job that they do. But maybe it's not necessary. Maybe you just need a repair. Lifetime Roofing will do that for you. Maybe you just need a tune-up, just fortify things a little bit. Lifetime Roofing will do that. It's not always about getting the biggest deal possible. But if it is time for you to get a new roof, whether you've had damage or you're selling your home and your roof's too old, the Lifetime Roofing will sell you that roof, and they're happy to work with you on a financing deal. They can do financing 0%, 18 months. The same as cash. If you've got a large deductible that you'd like to use, but you'd like to finance the deductible, they can do that too. They got a team there that can help you work through that. And as of January 1st, Lifetime Roofing is so proud to offer a lifetime workmanship warranty. A lifetime workmanship warranty. That's what you get with Lifetime Roofing. Check them out online at lifetimeroofingla.com.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
It's a new year. How about a new ride? Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Happy to help you with that. Essentially brand new. I think it's fair to say brand new. Started October 1st, so October, November, December, January. We got 4 months in at Fabry Chevrolet GMC, Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Been a lot longer than 4 months, though, for the Fabry family in Baton Rouge. 3.5 decades here in business. You know what you're going to get when you work with the Fabry family. If you've been to one of their 3 locations, one of their 5 brands, you know you get great customer service. It's a wonderful buying experience. And the service you get after the sale is excellent as well. The service department at Fabry Chevrolet GMC services all makes. So go by and see them at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. If you're looking for a Tahoe or Suburban or Silverado, they've got them. On the GMC side of things, the Sierras, the Yukons, Denali's. If you're looking for an SUV, they've got them at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. The most important thing is that you just realize that you've got this option because it wasn't there previously. So if you're looking for a Chevrolet or a GMC, you're looking for a pre-owned, you're looking for a new, you're looking to buy, you're looking to lease, you can do it all at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. It's a short drive up to St. Francisville, Highway 61. You can check out the entire inventory online at fabrychevrolet.com. That's fabrychevrolet.com. An interesting piece on the ESPN.com. In the first hour, we talked about the top 25 that's way early. This is probably a little bit more on point because they're predicting the quarterbacks in the top 68 teams in college football. And I don't really care to go through the Big Ten and go through the Big 12, but I think it's interesting to bebop through the SEC real quickly, specifically the teams that LSU will play this year. For Alabama, they believe Keelan Russell will be the starter. He redshirted this year. He was the number 1 quarterback prospect in the 2025 cycle. People thought he may overtake Cy Simpson at some point. That was a lot of the talk in Atlanta in July at Media Days that, Keelan Russell's coming. He's likely the quarterback. Of course, Austin Mack has an opportunity to win that job. He came with Kalen DeBoer from Washington, but ESPN predicts that Keelan Russell will be the guy. LSU will play Arkansas this coming year up in Fayetteville. They project KJ Jackson will be the starter there, redshirt sophomore, former 3-star recruit who stuck through the program through the coaching change. He'll have to fight off A.J. Hill, who was with Ryan Silverfield at Memphis, but KJ Jackson, who played a little bit when Taylor Green got hurt at the end of the year, that's a redshirt sophomore they think is going to be Arkansas's starting quarterback. LSU will welcome Auburn back to the schedule this year. They will head to the Plains to play Auburn. You're going to get Byron Brown there, redshirt senior who was a starter at South Florida, obviously coming over with Alex Golish. That's an established quarterback that Auburn will have this past year. I don't believe Hugh Freeze ever got quarterback correct. I don't believe he had it figured out with Jackson Arnold. I don't feel like he ever – Peyton Thorne was not going to be the deal. So I think that was the biggest downfall for Hugh Freeze was the quarterback play. We'll see if Alex Golish can get that right with Byron Brown, who he coached last year at South Florida. That'll be the head coach. That'll be the quarterback for the Auburn Tigers. All right, going down to the next team that LSU plays, that's Kentucky. Kenny Minchey is who they suggest will be their starter. Minchey comes over from Notre Dame, where he lost that job to C.J. Carr. So he's a redshirt junior. Kentucky has had their issues at quarterback, obviously. I didn't think Levis was great there, but he was probably the best that they had. It was a mess beyond that, and Mark Stoops just couldn't figure out how to get the ball moving in the air. So you bring in, a new head coach, and comes in from Oregon where he scored a bunch of points, brings in Kenny Minchey from Notre Dame. That'll be Kentucky's quarterback. LSU travels to Kentucky. Of course, obviously, they project that Sam Leavitt will be LSU's quarterback. Mississippi State, kind of the hopes of the Levy era are going to rest on Camario Taylor. Camario Taylor was a big-time recruit, the best quarterback recruit that Mississippi State has ever signed. Came in with Jeff Levy, and he's going to be the guy. Dual threat, 6'4", 230, started in the Egg Bowl. He can run, he can throw. Jeff Levy's got a good offensive mind, but if Jeff Levy's going to succeed in Starkville, it's going to have to be Camario Taylor. If Camario Taylor doesn't play well next year, potentially the year after that, I think Jeff Levy's time in Starkville will be over. If he plays really well, it could be the start of really laying the foundation for something really good. He's a very highly touted player, but he is the guy that they've got to get moving. Of course, LSU plays Mississippi State in Baton Rouge next year. LSU does not play Missouri, does not play Oklahoma, but they do play Ole Miss. And ESPN predicts that Trinidad Chambliss will be the quarterback for Ole Miss. I don't have any reason to believe that's not going to be the case. I just can't imagine a judge that literally went to Ole Miss for law school is going to say that Trinidad Chambliss is ineligible. I just don't think that's going to happen. So I think that Trinidad Chambliss will be the guy, and I think that's going to make things real difficult on LSU and Oxford because he's a heck of a player. We'll see. New offense, a lot of playmakers gone, but you got Kejuan Lacey back there. It's a pretty good place to start. So LSU will travel to number 9 Ole Miss. They think Trinidad Chambliss will be the quarterback. They don't think that LSU didn't play South Carolina, but Lawrence Sellers is the dude. Tennessee, who will be the starter? George McIntyre is who's listed here.
Who is that?
Look, Joey Aguilar is seeking an additional year of eligibility as a former junior college transfer. That's why I got confused on that a couple of days ago. But Tennessee was still very actively looking for quarterbacks. They hosted Sam Leavitt. They hosted Bo Pribula. But they're going to go with McIntyre, who is from Franklin, Tennessee. He was the number 109 overall recruit in 2025, according to ESPN. He was 7 of 9 for 69 yards as a redshirt freshman. So, or in his redshirt season, I should say, as a true freshman. That's who they think it's going to be, George McIntyre, as LSU travels to Tennessee in November. LSU plays Texas in Tiger Stadium. That one's pretty obvious. That'll be Arch Manning. He is probably considered the top quarterback in the country coming back next year. LSU plays Texas A&M in Tiger Stadium. Marcel Reed is projected quarterback in that one. And the last one was interesting. LSU does not play Vanderbilt next year, but they do project Jared Curtis to be the quarterback at Vanderbilt, the true freshman, 5-star, who was committed to Georgia and flipped to Vanderbilt. They've got him projected to be the starter for the Vanderbilt Commodores. So a lot of knowns, but a lot of unknowns as well that LSU will see on the quarterback ranks. The last one I wanted to go to was Clemson. And I was like, I really don't know the answer to Clemson. Once LSU played Clemson this past year, I put Clemson in the rearview mirror. They didn't play very well. I didn't watch them very much, so I just didn't really know what was next for Clemson. And surprise, surprise, Dabo did not go into the transfer portal and try to go get a quarterback.
Of course.
Dabo is going with the guy that they recruited and developed. And it's not a terrible plan. This guy looks like he's got a good pedigree. His name's Christopher Vizina, and he was the number 42 overall player in the 2023 class, and he has waited 3 years behind Cade Klubnik. So the fact that Clemson got this guy to do this is amazing. He played in his first career start against SMU. Klubnik did not play. He threw for 317 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He finished the year 71 pass attempts. He threw for 406 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's only played 238 snaps, but he has been at Clemson since 2023. And so you've got a veteran there. Chad Morris coming over to call the plays once again. So classic Clemson. We got another guy that's a former 4 or 5-star recruit. We're going to cycle him in. They're not going to go spend $4 million on a QB. So be it. We'll see.
I respect that move better than whatever Tennessee got going on. At least this guy got at least like some real stats behind his name.
George McIntyre.
Yeah, he sounded like a farmer. I was like, who is this he's talking about? George McIntyre. Like he sells apples or something. Like,
I hope he plays like that when LSU goes up there in November. That's my hope. But just a quick scan of what we think the quarterbacks will look like. I like to tell this story. I've told it a bunch of times, but it's just sometimes you just got to laugh at yourself, and I'm happy to do that when that is applicable, which is often. I wrote a column from SEC Media Days in 2012. Was in Hoover at the hotel in the ballroom, and was kind of looking over what we had heard, discussions, and I'm going, this is going to be just a monster quarterback year in the SEC. You got Aaron Murray, you got AJ McCarron, you got Zach Mettenberger, you've got Cook at South Carolina. Is it Cook? I can see Connor Cook. Connor Shaw at South Carolina. You've got Franklin at Missouri. Like, you've got dudes at quarterback all over this league. Really, the only team that doesn't have quarterback figured out is A&M. Their quarterback won the Heisman. Yeah. So, good column by me. I'm sure it's dissolved into the ether somewhere in Bayou Bengals Insider. No one will ever see from it again, and that's a good thing because that was incorrect.
We got a text from Taylor Sharp. He's listening right now. He said, George McIntyre is talented. LSU recruited him hard in high school, so let me shut up, man. This guy
sounds
can
awesome.
Play.
Hope he sucks.
Yeah.
Against LSU.
No, all season. Get him out of here.
Let's close it out next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Marucci, go take a tour of Marucci. Bring your youth baseball team, bring your youth softball team, bring your kids. Go yourself and take a tour at Marucci. Started making bats 22 years ago in a backyard shed. Now it's the official bat of Major League Baseball. So step into the heart of the game and go take a tour at Marucci. You can book those tours at maruccisports.com. See where they make 1,200 bats every single day. And every ticket to the tour comes with a 20% discount at the hitter's house. So make it happen. It's a gem here in Baton Rouge. One of the coolest things we have to offer. And a lot of folks haven't been by to see it. Go see where they make the bats. Step into the cage. Use the bats. It's the official bat of Major League Baseball. It's right there on Seagan Lane. It's Marucci. Check them out and get tickets to the campus tour at maruccisports.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Thursday show is brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. It is just that, Premium Angus Beef. You know how they tell you we got select, we got choice, we got prime beef? You hear that from restaurants. If you don't know what that means, it comes from the intramuscular fat score, IMF score. If it's 0 to 3, you're talking about select. If it's 3 to 8 or so, you're talking about choice. That's about 60% of the beef. If it's 9 or higher, 8 or higher, right there, you're talking about prime. Well, Sean's got cows on his farm right now, that are 14, 15, 17, 19. Better than twice the standard of prime. If you want the most delicious, tender, flavorful beef at home, go to Sagrera Farms. I tell you that we gave some out for Christmas to some family. A lot of folks were digging in on New Year's Eve to the fillets, to the ribeyes, to the strips, and just the Palmer family was blown away. It's so good. That's how we cook steaks at home now. We're Sagrera Farms people. There's 2 places you can get Sagrera Farms beef. You can get it at Sagrera Farms. You can get it at Supper Club. That's it. So if you want that prime Angus beef at your home, call Sean, go up to Sagrera Farms, and just change the way you eat your beef. Sagrera Farms, Premium Angus Beef. They bring you our Thursday shows each and every day. Just got Jimmy's Otter Locks. They'll go up soon on LouisianaSports.net. Got a couple of Colucci picks on there.
Oh, no, it was a lot of hockey today.
A lot of Colucci picks on there. I think I saw the Red Wings.
Yeah, this is Colucci's the hockey guy. Colucci's he's been hot. Jimmy gave him his
Can you
today,
name one player in the history of the Red Wings?
Ooh, I just know that they're in Detroit.
That's all I got to. I can't name him. No, Bobby Hull. I think he played for the Blues or the Blackhawks. I don't know.
Only hockey I know is Wayne Gretzky. That's it.
That's all you got? That's
great
all
one? I got. That's it. I just know the GOAT. That's all I know.
I don't have much for you.
I know my boy that plays right now. Damn.
Ovechkin.
No, know him, but he plays for the Oilers. McConnor or something. McDavid.
Connor McDavid.
Yeah, Connor McDavid. Yes.
There's a Connor Bedard who plays for the Blackhawks. He's like their white knight. I cross over. That gets caught up in my Cubs stuff.
No, he was.
They love Bedard.
He was supposed to be like a prodigy. Well, he still is
Yeah.
a prodigy.
Yeah.
Well, a 19.
Blackhawks
18.
stink. They used to be really good. They stink now.
That's why you got to.
That has been
him.
hockey talk on this Thursday. If you want hockey bets, you can find them at LouisianaSports.net coming up in about 15 minutes. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right. That's another Dodgers one. Done. I feel like I'm just talking about the Dodgers every day.
It's their topic of conversation for sure.
You're right, but it just every day I see a different stat about how crazy their numbers are with the money. So the Dodgers are paying a grand total of $3 million in actual season salary this season between Shohei Ohtani and Kyle Tucker.
Yes.
Ohtani's being paid $2 million with $68 million deferred, and Tucker's being paid $1 million with a $64 million being deferred before spring training. So, I know more Dodgers numbers, but is this ridiculous? Like $3 million. Come on, man. Take it or leave it.
Take it.
I'll take it.
I'm not sure exactly why everyone wants to do this. I understand that the Dodgers can put the money aside, invest, and let it grow interest before you end up paying it out. If I'm the player, I think I want the money now. I realize Shohei Ohtani doesn't need it. He makes more endorsements than probably. I'm confident he makes more than anybody in Major League Baseball because he owns an entire country.
Yeah.
But it's just wild that they can pay $3 million to get two guys that are MVP level players when they're at their best. It's just wild.
$3 million. So, internet theories are back in. So, the San Francisco 49ers are investigating a recent conspiracy theory about the electronical substation, whatever they got going on. That's been causing.
We talked about that yesterday.
Yes, that's causing the soft tissue injuries. Well, John Lynch, he said, no, they're going to look into it and figure out what's been going on to the bottom of this. So, internet theories getting into NFL franchises, take it or leave it.
I got to leave that one. I just don't think it's the power station that's causing injuries. I think it's probably a pretty violent sport that's causing them. But look, violent. NFL teams have lots of money, and they have a lot of offseason.
Yes.
So there's a lot of time to think about what you want to do with a lot of money. And if you want to launch an investigation on a power plant that's causing, tendon injury, Achilles to pop, well, just do the study. I'm not telling you what to do with your money.
You're right. And it gets to the point where all it takes is one player to acknowledge it, and then it gets in everybody's head. So now you have to be like, okay, we're going to look into this, especially because the Niners' history has not been on the side with injuries. It feels like you snap your finger and just a ACL pops out his body. So we'll end this off with a good one. Kirk Cignetti. Chipotle is celebrating Indiana's national championship with a new menu item on the menu called the I Win Bowl. So this is Kirk Cignetti. Apparently he eats Chipotle every day and gets the same exact order of brown rice, chicken, black beans, and guacamole. So
that's it?
That's it. That's in the Kirk Cignetti Bowl. So is Hunt Palmer getting the Kirk Cignetti Bowl? Take it or leave it.
I mean, I would eat that, but I'm going to leave it.
And leave it?
Get some other meats in there. They got some good stuff over there.
I know, it's pretty bland.
Barbacoa, steak.
Yeah. Well, he might not be a double meats guy. He might want to conserve his money a little bit,
I'm sure he needs to conserve his money. They bump him up to like $11 million a year or something.
A little something like that. Hey, you're not going to save that.
He got guac. He's clearly not saving the money too much. He's throwing guac on there.
He's throwing guac on there. That's a pretty basic bowl, though. I'm not going to lie.
That's very basic.
Better. Yeah, mine is way better.
How about a little queso in there?
Does Cignetti give a queso vibes?
Queso's awesome. It's melted cheese. Get it.
But listen to this bowl. I don't see nothing in this bowl that's like
flavorful.
Yes.
It's
there
sustenance.
You go. You're right.
It's sustenance for Kirk Cignetti.
It's like he's trying on a diet or something. So yeah, that's it for take it or leave it. Cignetti meal.
I'm calling it right now. I saw this last night. I'm sitting on the couch, and the Brewers traded their ace, Freddie Peralta. There is no way the Brewers can beat the Cubs this year. No way.
Don't do this.
No way.
Don't do this.
They get rid of every good player they have.
Don't do this.
The Cubs are adding good players. Added a former Cy Young finalist. Added a two-time World Series champ, Bregman. They're bringing back Justin Steele. The Cubs cannot lose to the Brewers this year. Okay. The Brewers are actually trying to lose.
Okay. I'm going to clip this. I have the other one clipped, so I'm gonna just stack these up, and then we'll revisit this in October.
I'm just not willing to accept it.
All right.
We talked to Luke about it.
Okay, man.
Sending him a Bregman poster.
You want to – this is the bed you're laying. This is your bed. I'm not saying nothing. I'm gathering the clips.
Can't happen.
Okay.
All right. If you missed any of the show today, Catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. Talk some LSU football. Talked about their schedule next year. Talked about the quarterbacks on that schedule. Talked about the teams where they're ranked on that schedule. We talked some Saints with Luke Johnson. You can find that at Hunt on Saints. Talked a little hoops with Chris Blair as well. Baseball to lead off the show. If you want some LSU baseball talk, you can do that at the top of our show. We'll hear from Jay Johnson tomorrow and react to that on a Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Matt will drive you home on AFR next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.